Follow me.
Hey, yo, what's up?
First stop on the tour is the production floor, where our prize-winning Malbec grapes are processed. Our equipment is state-of-the-art, including a drag-in freezer unit. And last but not least, our grape crusher, industrial size for your disposal purposes.
Interesting.
Follow me, please. This is an industrial cold storage unit, useful for preventing cellular decomposition. It easily reaches temperatures of -10 degrees Celsius. Trust me, you don't want to stay inside for long.
No kidding. Hey, there's no doorknob on the inside. Seems like a pretty glaring safety omission, if you ask me.
Probably soundproof, too.
And good luck getting a phone signal.
Follow me, please. This is our grape crusher. The destemmed grapes are crushed into a thick pulp by a powerful rotating cylinder, making each grape quite impossible to ID.
Have you had any workplace accidents?
What? Fall into the vat and get crushed to a pulp? You'd have to be a bona fide idiot. Waste of space, if you ask me.
Follow me, please. Next on our tour is the fermentation atrium. In these spacious tanks, which could easily be able to contain a couple of hundred human bodies, the sugars in the wine are converted to alcohol. This is also where we squeeze the must into a fine juice using our grape presser.
Fascinating.
Come along. This is the facility's grape presser, where the freshly crushed pulp is pressed through a fine filter, leaving only the flesh and skins behind. Much more efficient than the ancient practice of grape stomping, but also less personal.
So, this is what the little guy feels like.
Our large fermentation tanks are constructed from solid French oak, and each contain up to 500 gallons of grape must. You don't want to fall in, but if you do, at least you'll die happy.
Well, looks like an accident waiting to happen.
Occupational hazard. Eh, Burnwood?
Final stop, the barrel room. Nothing dramatic, just wine biding its time. The vault next door contains our most precious bottles, but the access doors are made from ballistic glass and can only be unlocked from the security room high above our heads. So, unless you're the Sparrow, don't get any ideas.
Remarkable.
Ah, here comes Mr. Yates now. Perfect timing.
Ah, Miss Burnwood, is it not? Don Yates. Pleased to meet you. You come very highly recommended. As Chief of the Heralds, let me be the first to say welcome aboard.
Why, thank you, Mr. Yates. Rest assured that I will be following your every lead very closely.
Say, that reminds me. We're about to have a little Herald get-together up at the house. Just a modest toast to celebrate my forthcoming inauguration as Constant. You are, of course, most welcome to join us. I believe you shall make a fine Herald, once the training wheels are off.
I wouldn't miss it for the world.
Capital. Right this way, into the lion's den. Oh, almost forgot. Cortazar, please nip down to the wine cellar and tell Mr. Flowers, the sommelier, to prep the 1945 Grand Paladin and bring it up to the house for our special occasion.
Got it, Chief. Flowers. Mr. Yates wants the 1945 Grand Paladin brought up to the house. Special occasion.
What? Did aliens land on the front lawn? Have the ghosts of Jesus, John Lennon, and Eva Perón unexpectedly come for dinner? Help me out here. What could possibly be so special?
Above your clearance, Flowers. Just fetch it already.
Fine. What's the passcode again?
Last year of World War II. If you have to look it up, shame on you.
A meeting in the root cellar. And judging from Yates's choice of wine, some type of celebration. Likely a gathering of heralds, come to congratulate Yates on his upcoming promotion. Diana's presence, a calculated risk.
I'm fine, Santino. It's just the 1945 Grand Paladin. It is perfection. Irreplaceable. You don't drink the 1945 Grand Paladin any more than you would write a shopping list on the Mona Lisa. Ugh, men like Don Yates know the price of everything, but the value of nothing.
Say, what if we exchange the labels? Served him a different wine.
Ah, you are devious, Santino. But no. If Mr. Yates wishes to destroy something beautiful, I will not stand in his way. That is between him and his creator.
How did he even get his hands on a bottle? I hear the last one was sold to Sheikh Omar Al-Ghazali for $600,000. Most expensive bottle ever sold.
Ah, yes. A curious story. See, that bottle you refer to came from a case of 12, which were recovered from a sunken Carlisle shipping container that went down in the South China Sea during the final days of World War II. Well, of those 12, only 5 were raised intact. Al-Ghazali bought one under great media coverage, while the others simply disappeared, quietly obtained by some clandestine private collector. Until one of the bottles was donated to Mr. Yates by Byron Washington, CEO of the Pax Mundus Foundation, as a reward for winning a court case. Now, Byron's twin daughters were treasure hunters, so that explains how he managed to get first pick. Ah, but you see, I was here when the bottle arrived, and the crate it arrived in bore a curious logo. Something called the Ark Society.
Intriguing. Do you know what it means?
Well, not a clue. And now, we will never know. Well, don't get attached, Santino. For all fine things in life are transient.
Hey, Flowers! Over here. Come on, while we're young.
Sir, I present to you the 1945 Grand Paladin.
Huh. Somehow I thought it'd be bigger. Come on, Flowers. Guests are waiting.
Okay. You are good to go.
So here's the deal, Flowers. The boss is having a powwow with some employees, and discretion is the name of the game. I'm sure you figured that out already, you being a scholar and all. Don't discuss, disclose, or hell, even contemplate what goes down. Just set your mind to wool-gathering mode. You think you can do that for me, Flowers?
Worry not, Mr. Cortazar. I'm the very soul of discretion.
Good man. They're already at it. Go on, place the wine on the table. I'll pour it.
Decant.
Pardon me, Your Majesty.
I have always considered the heralds the unspoken heroes of Providence. The nervous system, effectively and reliably transmitting the decrees of the brain to the body and limbs of our great organization. And I am delighted that so many of you were able to join me today, despite your busy schedules, and celebrate my retirement from the world of law and imminent instatement as the third constant of Providence. Make no mistake, I have two formidable sets of shoes to fill, but I am athirst to pick up the mantle.
Looking good, looking good.
Flowers.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Flowers, our resident sommelier. I believe he has brought us something quite special. Perhaps you will educate us, Mr. Flowers.
This is the 1945 Grand Paladin, one of only 5 bottles in existence. The vintage is legendary, the proverbial unicorn wine. The year was hot, the wine's super concentrated, and thanks to hail and frost, the production was small. Only 300 bottles were ever produced. And when the vineyard was bombed during the closing days of World War II, only a single crate survived. It is said to have amazingly complex aromas with long, savory layers of fruit and spice flavors, and a silky texture. Enjoy.
Wonderful. Thank you, Mr. Flowers. Feel free to stick around in case our guests have questions. This wine was gifted to me by the Arch Society in acknowledgement of my firm's legal services. It stands as a powerful reminder that Providence draws its strength not from force, but from partnership. We are but a few, and yet together we are unstoppable because we stand united. My friends, loyalty is everything, which is why we cannot allow traitors into our ranks.
Ah, yes. Here it comes.
This woman has waged bloody war on us. More than a dozen heralds and operatives dead. Your colleagues and clients, my friend, Ken Morgan. Not to mention the partners themselves, our founders, our benefactors. Make no mistake, this woman's hands are soaked in blood. Our blood. And Arthur Edwards, the new supreme head of Providence, is handing her the keys to the kingdom. Now, does that seem right to you, my friends? Does that sound like loyalty?
Absolutely
right.
Absolutely.
Perhaps Edwards simply recognizes talent when he sees it. Perhaps this is why I am also in the running to become constant. And following this childish outburst, I dare say I am in the lead. Don.
You're lying, of course. Which only proves my point. You cannot be trusted, Miss Burnwood. This woman will be our downfall. That is, unless we take matters into our own hands. You are heralds, sworn to protect Providence against all threats, including inside ones. I have devised a plan. Together we can make it work, but you have to decide now, my friends. Are you with me?
Yes.
Yes, I agree.
Yes.
Listen to yourselves. Don Yates is not even appointed constant yet. And already he conspires to betray his master. I don't pretend to understand Edward's every move, but I do know that this man is an opportunist and unworthy of office.
Then you are a traitor to the heralds. The room is against you, Tamara. Stand down now or share her fate.
Edwards will hear about this.
I think not. I am sorry, but you brought this on yourself. Mr. Cortazar? Escort Miss Burnwood to my office. I'll join you shortly.
Right. Move it. Let's go.
I'm warning you, Yates. This will not go your way.
We need to get our story straight. Diana Burnwood died today by the hand of her rogue Agent 47. Tamara Vidal, who saw through the assassin's disguise, was, alas, killed as well. This is what you will all attest to.
Yes,
Yes.
I agree.
Yes.
A toast, then. In her honor.
Hey
Savor
there.
the taste
Whoa, sorry,
because you never
sorry.
will again.
Thought you were someone else.
And let me remind you, we
Remember,
are in this
Flowers,
together.
you never saw
One
fit.
goes down,
Not
we
a
all go
damn
down.
thing.
Here's to loyalty.
To loyalty.
Yeah, hey.
Good. I was beginning to worry.
Were you?
No. Listen up, 47. Yates will be here shortly. He'll have his thug Cortazar do his dirty work, but he won't pass up on the chance for a good gloat and a monologue.
So, private space? Kill room decor?
Exactly. We won't get another shot at this. Now sit down and blend in. When I provide a distraction, you just be ready to move.
Pick up your damn phone. Plan B is a go. Eat Plan B is a go.
Start prepping a crime scene. Like we discussed. Remote, staged accident. Oh, and Corvo, make it for two. Just improvise. Miss Burnwood.
You rolled out the red carpet just for me. Don, you shouldn't have.
So confident, even in defeat. I suppose you're not used to danger, always safe behind your screens. Just tell me one thing before we part ways.
Why me?
Why you? Why would Edwards trust you? Please. It will keep me awake at nights, and I'm 65. I get up 4 times to piss as it is.
Oh, it's simple, really. Edwards is proud. He considers himself the cleverest man alive, and yet we tricked him on Isle of Scale, and it's eating him up. He needs to win. Full, unequivocal victory. My recruitment was just the feather in his cap. By the way, you were right about one thing.
Yeah? I'm all ears.
Holy shit!
You gotta be kidding me.
Turns out this woman
Wow,
will
gravity,
be your
man.
downfall.
What the hell, man?
If it's any consolation, Don, your instincts were dead on. I will be confident now. And I will make it my mission to tear down Providence brick by brick. Finish it.
Such a good boy.
Well done, 47. Better get rid of the body. Won't be long before they come looking. When you're done, meet me on the dance floor. Oh, and dress appropriately.
PTSD, huh?
"47?
It's done. Now what?
Now, we strike at the heart.
Edwards. You know how to find him, don't you?
Why, Edwards finds you, 47. He is untraceable, and he never lets you forget it. He is cocky, and that will be his downfall.
What's the plan?
Too many eyes. Meet me at the Olive Grove at sunset. One last tango, 47. How did you know?
Your deal. That kind of power always comes with a price. What's yours?
I think you know. I am sorry. This is a necessary evil.
What have you done?
Ether brand neurotoxin. Transfers by touch. See, Edwards learns by his mistakes, 47. And as you've clearly demonstrated, brute force is futile. It had to be me. It was the only way.
To get this close.
My family. I know what you did. After all these years, I finally know.
I am sorry.
You didn't have a choice. I did. Providence used you, but I'm no better. All I saw was a blank slate, a weapon to wield. I told myself it was what you needed, but people aren't meant to be controlled. This is a kindness. Goodbye, Agent. Still clinging on to your self-image. Agent 47, the apex predator. Always hiding behind the headlines. Was perfection its own justification? Or a willful distraction? A wall built contract by contract to shield you from the uncomfortable truth. You're exactly the tool they bred you to be. Quite a piece of work you are. How could you possibly function on your own? You never even had a name. Until I gave you one.
That's him. Burnwood never ceases to surprise me. You really are a most singular individual. And to think she wanted me to put you down. Lucky for you, I never throw away anything useful. Prepare the serum. Forgetting's not so bad. You've done it before.
What's he doing? Is he still looking at us?
I'm afraid so. Poor sap just won't accept his days are done.
Perhaps I should take him out to the woods and set him free.
Oh, it's a classic.
He was a loyal tool. But everything goes the way of the horse and cart eventually.
I couldn't agree more.
Are you done? The toxins are playing into your fears. Don't let them. Come on. Gotta get your head straight.
She wants me dead.
She has every right to after what we did. But that's not what is really going on.
She chose power. In the end, she was just like them.
No. She found a way to turn Edward's own cleverness against him. The rest is up to you.
I don't know how.
You do know.
Diana!
Coming!
Once you dispose of Edwards, I will dismantle Providence from the top down. It will finally be over. All you have to do is embrace the past.
Sir, we have produced a fresh sample of the serum. Yeah, the exact specs from the lab in Johannesburg. A dosage is on its way to your car as requested. Well, I recommend that the muscle-paralyzing agent used to incapacitate the subject is out of his system before the serum is administered, to avoid unwanted side effects. Yes, sir. I will inform you once the subject comes to.
We need to find a catchy name for it. For when we go commercial, I mean.
You figure this thing has commercial applications? Who'd want to have their minds wiped?
Not wiped, obviously. But that's just fine-tuning. Okay, right now the serum erases long and short-term memory banks wholesale. But in a couple of cycles, we'll be able to isolate the effects to individual memories. Imagine if you could pluck out childhood traumas, ugly breakups, combat trauma. You guys should be over the moon.
What are you talking about? I love waking up in a cold sweat with a scream stuck in my throat. So, what would you call it then? Your catchy, off-the-counter name.
I don't know. Blank Slaterzine?
You are a piece of work, lady.
Come on. Jim, was it? It always starts like this. GPS, microwaves, duct tape. This serum will eventually improve lives. I've got to believe that.
Tell that to the poor SOB in the rear car. Nah. When I want to forget something, I rely on my good old pal, Mr. Alcohol. No offense. The Ether Corporation bought this train for sample backup storage, but since the bombing at their R&D site in Johannesburg, they're refitting the cars as a mobile field lab.
Huh. So what did the Russians use it for back in the day?
The way I hear it, this used to be some kind of KGB black site. Mobile missile launch control center, prison transport, your guess is as good as mine. But at one point, it appears to have been the HQ of Janus, the Cold War spy master. Well, apparently his crest was on the front car before Ether painted everything over.
Well, that's the way it goes, isn't it? National past, corporate future. Where are we supposed to be exactly? Ukraine? It all looks the same through the blizzard.
Nah, somewhere in Romania. We're on a loop from Zagreb to Irkutsk.
Isn't that risky? What about border inspections?
They use a system of decommissioned rail lines and pay the local governments to look the other way. It's been like that since the Cold War. In theory, this thing only needs to stop for refueling.
A regular ghost train, huh? I guess that's one more box ticked.
It's ridiculous, if you ask me. A whole train full of mercs to guard one guy.
You do know who he is, right?
Sure, sure. Everyone's very impressed. I get it. And if you want some kind of elaborately planned calamity or a convenient heart attack, sure, he's your man. But how does he manage in a brawl? I'm willing to bet this guy doesn't hold a candle to any of us. Too much sneaking around and dressing up, too little fighting.
Right. You feel like putting that theory to the test?
I just might.
Sir.
Sir?
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 He's seen some shit. Christ! Low vis out here! Is that you, Chief?
In the flesh.
Everything under control? Orson here had one of his feelings.
Everything's on rails. Now move aside. I have a message for the
Sirs. Yeah?
With all due respect,
Prisoner awake yet?
your ass, you don't get out of my face.
don't suppose there's any point calling for help.
No.
Seems I brought this on myself. Well played, Miss Burnwood. Do you really think she'll be able to resist all that power? This is not how people work.
She rejects the power, not the responsibility.
A noble idea. But please join me in the real world. I trust you already know what this is. Why not simply take it? Embrace who you were always meant to be.
No, never again.
Well, I had to try. Go on then. Do your thing. At least I die knowing who I am. What are you doing? No! No!
This is what it means to lose everything.
You're making a mistake.
It's mine to make.
Oh. Forgive me. I seem to have, What were we talking about?
Don't worry. We were done.
The string of resignations at the top level of international finance continues as Milton Fitzpatrick CEO Alexander Shannon joins the president of Hamson Oil, while Lead founder Tim Clinton and plenty of others step down.
It's been a long time, Agent 47.
That's not who I am anymore. The pact is done. The past, dead.
And yet, here you are.
I choose this path because I can. There will always be people like them. So there will always be people like us.
No one is untouchable.
It's good to be back.